Hi, welcome back to OD YouTube channel. Today we are here for another door opening of the Inkvent Calendar from Diamine 2024, and we are about half the way and it's day 12, so let's see what we have here. And it's called Snow Globe, which is a nice idea. I like thinking of snow globes. And it is a chameleon ink, and it has kind of purplish blue shimmer. You'll have to check that in the swatch that I'll make in a moment. So, see you right next to this. Okay, now the snow globe is going for a swatch. Let me put this aside. This is one of the things that I find more interesting, is to make the swatches in visually. I think the most interesting thing is to write with a pen, but the calendar doesn't make that interesting to write with a pen, because actually in the end it's 25 inks inside pens, and I usually use 2 pens for each ink, so you can see it's 50 pens inked, so I don't really have that time to enjoy inks or the pens or the writing that much, because I think many pens will not get enough use for a long time because they will be inked with. I know I could do all with a dip pen, but that's not me. Okay, this has these interesting look. You'll have to see how it dries and then I will show it to you. So I'll be right back. So let's take a look at the dry swatch. So what we have here is a color. It is a chameleon color. It is a color that kind of changes between several things: light blue, dark blue, silvery bluish shimmer that can look a little bit purple also under another angle. So it goes from light blue to purple with shimmer. So this is interesting, and it is beautiful on the swatch, but we'll see how it gets when we write with it. So now we'll go for the comparison with other inks. So again, another blue ink. I have here the Diatramentis, like that, Royal Blue Lavender and Kaveco Royal Blue. So you can see some similarities. I also have here, just for, let's try to compare it with some others. I have here, let me check, other blue inks. So I have here the Happy Holidays, day 25 from 2019 calendar. So this one had blue or light blue, almost green, shimmering with red sheen, so not comparable, but also blue. I have here the Storm from 2021, day 9, which has some shimmer, but it is and it has some sheen, black, and some silver shimmer. So, but it's very different from the amount of shimmer this one has. This one is much lighter shimmer. I also have here the Midnight Hour from 2019, but this one has some dark sheen also, and the blue is different, although the lighter parts may be a little more similar. And I also have here the 2019 Festive Cheer, which has also some dark sheen but with a different base color. So these two have dark sheen and this doesn't have it. And we have two bluish colors from the Inkvent 2024, and we have here the Baltic Breeze with a copper shimmer, different from that one, also lots of shading, and the Icy Lilac with silver shading, but different from this one. This one has kind of the shimmer is blue. The shimmer is kind of blue, and so it's not easy to describe. It's another blue ink, but not comparable, not directly comparable with any other blue ink that I have. I don't have that many blue inks in my collection, and I don't have any shimmering inks besides the inks from the previous year's Diamine Inkvent Calendars, and also from some from some Pelikan Edelstein ink series. That's what I meant. Now let's take a look at the chromatography, and what we can see is that there is a gray line there, very faint, which is the line of the shimmer, although you cannot see the shimmer, I think. And then there is kind of a pinkish magenta line that is more water resistant. Then there is a green one that goes up, and then the blue part of the ink. So I would say this is not really water resistant, but it may stain the paper. And that's what we'll see when we make the water resistance test. So for this ink I chose two pens that are nothing comparable with each other. One is the Pilot Kakuno, a school pen from Pilot, cartridge converter pen with this triangular shaped grip and a small nib with a happy face on it. The nib is steel, it is a fine cartridge converter pen, and you can see the shimmer there on the feed. The other pen that I chose is a more classical pen. It is the Pilot International Lufold in blue marble color. It is a pen from, I think, late 80s. It is a much more expensive pen. It's not a school pen. It's a smaller size of the Parker Lufold line. It has a gold nib, two-tone with this arrow shape engraved there, and it is a medium nib. Again, the feed, where you can see that the nib is medium, has lots of shimmer on it. The pen is also a cartridge converter. So these are the two pens that I chose for this, a fine and a medium nib. And so let's take a look at the paper. Again, the Rhodia dot pad, and we have the other Rhodia paper. So this is written here. Sorry, not that. I was getting ahead of myself. Sorry about that. So first we'll see here how it behaves on the three different kinds of paper. This is the moleskin paper. I don't really see much of that shimmer. A little bit more on the Parker writing sample, not so much on the Pilot. And I think it's kind of expectable, because on the Parker we have lots of, we have a much heavier ink flow. This one doesn't bleed through, and you can see that the color has some shading, both with the Pilot and with the Parker, and the color looks a little bit different between the two writing samples. This one looks blue, this one looks blue with a hint of purple. With the Oxford paper, we can see some bleed through. It's kind of strange because this is a paper where inks behave very well. I'm trying to see some shimmering there on the kind of the swatch. You can see a little bit, but not much. But then you can see more when you're writing with the Parker International Blue Fold. And here you can also see some shading on the ink. But I don't think that is so visible as it is on the Moleskine paper. Then we go to the Navigator copy paper. Lots of bleed through with the Parker because it has a wider nib and bigger ink flow. You can see some shimmering there, and you can see a little bit of line variation, but not much because this paper doesn't allow for it. But the shimmering is very obvious on the Parker writing sample, not so much on the Pilot. And this is how it behaves. So I think that, in my opinion, this ink is quite exciting when we look at it like this, but I would say this is a good paper to show ink properties. I don't think it's that exciting when we look at it in this kind of paper, or in writing with a medium nib pen. So maybe it needs some other pen paper combination. I don't really think that is that exciting when I'm writing. I have to say also that the shimmer gets all at the bottom of the bottle. I always cap the bottle, shake it very well, then I fill one pen, I close it, I shake it very well, then I fill the other pen, just to be sure that I will have enough particles in suspension whenever I show you the writing sample. So I don't really think that this ink is that impressive, and I have to say that this, to me, one of the least impressive inks in this calendar so far. But it's interesting like that, so maybe with a better combination of paper and pen, it will get better. Now, we have the Rhodia dot pad, and we can see there the Pilot Cocoon writing sample with some shimmering, not much. We have the drying time, which is less than 10 seconds, which is kind of great, but the Pilot is a dry pen. And there you can see there are some smears of some residues of the pink magenta part of the ink, as you can see, but the ink is not really readable besides the water. When it gets water, it is not really water resistant, it disappears completely, so it's not good for writing important stuff in the way it can get wet and disappear completely. So this is what I think about this ink. This is what I found. I hope this was interesting. Let's just write with the two pens. So the Quick Brown Fox jumps over the Lazy Dog, and with the Parker with a juicier nib, the Quick Brown Fox. I think you can easily see how much ink this one puts on paper. Jumps over the Lazy Dog. And let's just take a look at it. See how it looks. What I can say is that the ink looks very different when you write with one and the other pen. but in the end it's not that exciting. Of course, the ink maybe not completely dry. No, I think it is. You can see there is, I would say there is not that much about it. So I think it's interesting anyway. I would like to know, if you're opening your calendar at the same time, tell me your experience with this ink. What do you think? Maybe I'm doing something wrong. And I hope to see you again soon for another video. I have to thank you, Appelboom, for sending me the calendar for review, and I have to thank you all for being there watching for these daily videos. So see you tomorrow. Bye.